All right, Sharon. Across cultures and centuries, people have described remarkable, similar, expanded states of consciousness. The mystics, the monks, indigenous wisdom keepers, near death experiencers. Sharon, is that a coincidence or evidence of deeper human capacity? Welcome to the Holy Shiftball podcast. I'm Bethany, your energetic bestie, alongside my fabulous soul sister, Sharon. Hey, Sharon.
Hey, baby. And today we're asking a question that has fascinated humanity for thousands of years. What happens when consciousness expands beyond our everyday experience?
Yes, girl, because people from completely different cultures, have separated by geographics, language, time, often describe, surprisingly similar
Mhm.
experiences. Say that again
And that
twice.
too. Say that five times real fast.
Right.
Yeah, they describe experiences of connection, awareness, intuition, oneness, a deeper understanding of themselves and reality. And today's guest has spent 2 decades exploring exactly that. Today we're joined by Sara Rocissano. Sara is a world traveler, a speaker, an author, and founder of Emboldened Adventures.
After walking away from a successful career in finance, renewable energy, Wall Street,
Hmm.
and corporate America, girl,
Sara embarked on a 20-year journey of self discovery that has taken her through more than 43 countries. Unpack
along.
that.
I know 43. That is like
I know. It's like,
it's
what?
like wow.
It's a
That's like
lot of
so many
life
baggage
combined.
claims.
Oh my God. Sitting next to people on airplanes you got to make small talk with,
Oh my
or
god.
eating that crappy airplane food. Yeah.
Yeah. But you
Wow.
know what, Sharon? Along the way, she explored ancient sites, worked with some wisdom keepers, immersed herself in different cultures, and experienced profound shifts in consciousness that transformed her life.
Oh, you bet she did. And today she helps others unlock their own potential through personal, professional, and spiritual transformation.
Sara, welcome to the Holy Shift Ball podcast, girl.
Hello! Woohoo! Thank you, Bethany and Sharon, for having me. What a beautiful introduction.
Thank you
Thank
for
you. I'm like,
being
wow, who
here.
is this person?
I know when you hear your life talked about in sense, like you're like, wait a minute. Wow.
Who are they talking about?
Yeah, who's that? Who's
Me?
that? And how do I get to know her?
For sure. Sara, I would love, you know, what is the weirdest thing you've experienced that made you question reality?
Go weird right off the bat.
Yeah, we
The
have to get. Sorry.
weirdest thing I experienced that made me question. Well, okay, first of all, we'll talk about my book that's about to come out, Stone Temple Passport. So the first, the
Oh,
prologue.
I love it.
Oh, I
The
do too.
prologue. Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait. It's so good. This book. The first page is me going through a derealization crisis in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. And I'm literally standing stationary on the path, about to go into the Maloka, which is our ceremonial space for the ayahuasca ceremonies. And I come over this like sense of panic. And I ask myself, what's real? What's going on? Where am I? And I was transitioning from past Sara, as I call myself in the book, Miss Wall Street, Miss New York City, Miss, in the physical, the material, and transitioning into this now transforming Sara that is more aware of a world beyond material reality. And what was really driving me to the point of like complete untethering was the fact that time is not real. It's a construct and everything's in the now. So here I was in a panic state because I was on my way to this ceremonial pre-ceremonial yoga session before the ceremony. And I made my way halfway up to where it was. And I forgot like a long sleeve shirt in my tambo in my little place I was sleeping in the rainforest. And so I panicked because I was like, I'm going to be late. But then I was like, well, but I can't be late because there's no time. But what's going on? Why am I so upset? I'm going to be late to yoga. And then I started screaming, like, what's going on? And it's really uncomfortable. when you realize it's an illusion, but yet you're still, we're in this world that conditions us, right? And programs us, and time is a program. And so when you're late, when you're not on time, as we know, when we're in the city, we're going to work, we're trying to get a train, you know, there's penalties. You're not on time. There's something wrong with you. But then you're like, hold on, there's no time, so who cares? But I'm late. But I'm gonna miss this. So that was a very, I guess that's to answer your question. It's a weird moment. It was very, very unsettling. What's real? What's going on? Where am I?
So we'll stay on that path. What's the difference between losing your mind and expanding it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I mean, is it relative? Is it relative, right? Like, according to what standard does it mean you've lost your mind? What does losing your mind mean? I don't know. I don't know these answers, because we're looking back now and realizing that those that were in mental institutions back in the day were actually psychic.
Yes.
Right. And those that were deemed crazy were those that weren't open to being conforming and really kind of immersed in society and being a good little worker bee. And so I don't know, because, you could look at me and compare me to, 10, 15, 20 plus years ago and say, what happened to her? What happened? She's crazy. Maybe I am. I don't know. But again, according to what standard? And I think, consciousness is an expansion. As we continue to expand our spirituality, we realize it's infinite. Right? There's an infinite energy of expansion and ongoing creation and unfolding and creative destruction in a lot of ways, is what I understood with the medicine ayahuasca. And so everything's infinite and it's expanding. So, today it might be one thing, tomorrow it might be a completely new definition. And we realize we see things in a new perspective that we never saw before, because the world continues to unfold in new ways. So I don't know how to answer that question. I'm not sure.
Well, that was a great
job for not knowing how to answer it.
That was a fabulous answer.
Thank you.
Sarah, what experience would you say expanded your consciousness the fastest?
Oh, I don't know. Again, like, how do you define expansion of consciousness? I think it was the medicine. I worked with ayahuasca 7 times. The first time I was working with the medicine, 7 ceremonies across 2 weeks. And then since then, I've worked with other psychedelics and plant medicines, and with ayahuasca 3 more times. So it's an ongoing discovery of, what the medicine shows you, but it's an avenue. It's not the avenue. There's other ways to expand consciousness through breath work and, immersion in nature and a lot of other things, where you're disconnecting from this sort of illusion that is the material world, right? The construct of the everyday society, and even decoupling from technology in some ways. Like we were talking about AI offline before, right? AI makes you an NPC, and it makes you boring, because everything is consistent and the same, and this is the way you answer questions. But the way to counteract AI is to be the crazy self you are, and be unhinged and unpredictable and creative. And what do they call it? The drunk poet in that that tweet that I shared with you earlier. So I think that's really the discovery is, how do I become my authentic self that continues to expand and reconnect and learn and grow in a way that cannot be, it's like a wild horse. You can't hold it back.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but for our audience members that doesn't know anything about ayahuasca plant journey, could you describe, what it is? What is the ceremony? What does that entail? Where did you go? Where were you at? Give us a whole, drop us in your reality.
Sure, absolutely. And this is why I wrote my book, Stone Temple Passport, that's out in stores soon. I 100% documented this experience through my journals, through videos, through photographs and other sort of things. And what it is, it's a plant medicine. It's a psychedelic, and it's a very, very, very powerful psychedelic, known as the Mount Everest of all psychedelics. It's a ceremonial medicine, mainly, being administered by the Shipibo people who are in the Amazon rainforest. But it's been known to be around for quite a long time. And what it does is it's DMT. Essentially, there's 2 ingredients that make up this brew. It's a tea in some ways. It's the ayahuasca vine that's growing in the rainforest, and it's a trachuna leaf a plant as well from the rainforest. And the chacruna leaf has the DMT in it. Dimethyltryptamine is the molecule. And our brains actually make DMT, our third eye, our pineal gland. And they suspect that when you're having near-death experiences or you're on your way to passing on once you're dying in the physical world, you're going through a DMT trip in some ways in your third eye. And so we have an enzyme in our body that is an MAO enzyme inhibitor, and that prevents DMT from being activated in your brain on the daily basis, on our everyday life. So what ayahuasca is doing is there is a MAO enzyme that blocks this inhibitor, and it clears the path for the DMT in the chacruna leaf to now come into your third eye. And that's when the real magic starts to happen. You start to see beyond the material veil. The medicine shows you what you need to see in the sense of personal introspection, what's beyond in terms of like multidimensional realms and spirit guides and other sort of things. And it's guided by the shamans, the Shipibo shamans. And what is really an enhancer is the Icaros. They sing the songs of the plants. It's a vibrational sort of energy that they are working as shamans. They are working with your energetic field, and they sing to you these Icaros that help to vibrate and really kind of make the medicine activate. And that's where the real sort of discoveries begin with the medicine. So every single experience with Aya is different. You could work with it 100 different times. You get 100 different sort of results or experiences or visuals or whatever it is. So, and it's guided by a higher consciousness entity, Mama Ayahuasca, who's embodied in the vine. It's absolutely incredible. The book I wrote, I think, is the best first person account of an ayahuasca experience you're going to find in written text. And I stand by that statement. So I'm very excited about sharing it with the world.
That's so wonderful. Sara, so you did this in the jungle. You experienced ayahuasca in the jungle, correct? What did the jungle teach you about consciousness that Wall Street never could?
Great question. The Amazon is a beautiful setting for the working with the medicine. And it teaches you a lot. It teaches you there's more beyond the material veil, as I mentioned, that nature is part of this bigger essence of consciousness. Mother Nature, Pachamama, is real. Earth, Gaia, is Pachamama. And it teaches you that you don't need to be conformed. You don't have to be conforming, controlled by the institutions that are trying to indoctrinate us. And that's what ceremony 6 is what I saw, that I was in this club that I got initiated into, where those in the club live with authentic sort of approaches to life. They're artists, they're shamans, they're listening to their true calling. They're not beholden to a system. They're creative people. They're just not, they're always expanding and kind of growing and learning and taking life in with such joy and reverence. So I think that's what the rainforest was kind of showing me in terms of a dichotomy, that the world we're in, this material world we're in, is an illusion. It's our construct from our consciousness, and we're creating the reality around us. But at the same time, you could change the channel. If it's not working for you, you don't need to struggle. Like, there's a way to continue to co-create with Creator and find a new kind of path that is really your calling, that gets you excited about life, that makes you want to create, that makes you feel alive and unique.
That's a fantastic answer. Sara, do you believe that expanded states of consciousness are available to everyone, or is this only a selected soul's journey, or can everybody? What do you think?
When you're receptive to it, absolutely. Everything is consciousness. Everything is consciousness. This computer is consciousness. We're co-creating now, right? We're co-creating a conscious moment. Rocks are consciousness. The stars, the plasma, which is 95% of matter anyways, plasma, it's all consciousness. And it's all vibrating at different levels and energy frequencies. And so, we're in the physical, so the vibration is very low. It's very kind of solid. But as you expand out, you vibrate higher and higher, higher. That's sort of your love feeling. That's the authenticity. That's joy. Those are those higher, beautiful emotions, whereas in the lower vibration, we feel more fear, hate, anger, all those sort of things, sadness, and it keeps us tethered and down. So yeah, expansion of consciousness is important. Anyone can tap into it. Nature gets you there. It doesn't have to be the psychedelics. Grounding, taking your shoes off and putting them in the grass, feeling the wind on your face, smelling the fresh air, feeling the sun, on your skin, hearing the birds sing. That in itself is an expansion of consciousness. So it's accessible to everyone if you're willing to receive and, open to it.
Yeah.
So I think personally, I think when people go on vacation, they take that 2 weeks or whatever away from their corporate life and their job, and then they go and they experience sand, sun, and I think they expand their consciousness on those times. They just aren't aware of it.
Yeah.
What belief about reality did you have to let go of, Sara, in order to experience the deeper truth that you're living and learning now?
That we're in scarcity. Reality here right now teaches us we're in scarcity mode.
Yes.
So that means we're disempowered, right? Where it's zero sum. It's I win, you lose. There's only enough for me, and I got to fight for my space. And I'm constantly in a state of fear and lack. And so how am I going to show up in life to get, at least something? It's like the last little pittance of crumbs, but the real reality is we're in abundance.
Mm-hmm.
God wants you in abundance because you and me and all of us are unique expressions of the infinite creator. And God is having experiences through all of us at the same time in an infinite way. So in order for you to follow through your calling, you need to be provided for. That's how it works.
Yes.
And so I have to believe that there's abundance abound for me. And I put it out to the universe with true trust in myself, self-empowerment, self-love, and just no sort of control on how the way it needs to unfold. I have to just surrender to the unfolding and believe it's going to work out in my best favor. Pronoia is that term, not paranoia, right? And I talk about this in my book. If you're paranoid, you believe the universe is out to get you. But if you're in a state of pronoia, the universe is working in your favor. So I think that's the sort of new way of adjusting your perspective and being in a state of gratitude that things are working out for me, and look at all the abundance abound. It may be money, but it may be other things like shelter, food, someone paid for your Starbucks coffee, all these things that you now have to put some, I think, awareness to and appreciation for, and in a state of gratitude, thank goodness I've been provided for to continue on with finding joy and, being in a state of experiential sort of, environment. That's why we're human. We're here to experience. We're here to love, and we're here to learn and grow, and evolve our soul. So there's so much to talk about in this.
Yes.
Yes.
Why do you think so many people report similar experiences of connection, intuition, oneness, and awakening, regardless of their background?
It's a universal truth. It's a
What's one
universal
way-
truth.
Yeah. What's one way that you could guide our listeners to connecting to that truth, and connecting to their wisdom and to their intuition?
Well, I think you have to prove it to yourself, ultimately, right? Because we have been conditioned in this world to give our power away, to believe the authorities. The authorities know better than me. And that happens just in school. It happens in work. You got to do well in work to get the bonus and get your, positive reviews so you don't get fired. There's always this sort of system we're in that we need to prove ourselves to the system. So the system says, okay, fine, you can get a little pittance, right? But the reality is that, you're more empowered than you think. And so that's really where, you start to learn how to trust yourself. And then you start to see the magic unfold in front of you. And you're like, holy crap, I know it's real because I know it to be true deep in my knowing. And no one can tell me I'm not right. No one can tell me I'm crazy because I know it's true for me. And then you continue to accept and receive and continue to go on your own exploration journey for yourself. So it's proven to you by your way. And I think that's what's going on now in this world that we're in, is everything's breaking down and we're seeking real truth for ourselves. People are questioning whether we landed on the moon. And now we're looking at this footage with 2026 eyes instead of, in my case, 1980s eyes, or even in the case of 1960s eyes. And things don't look real anymore in my case.
No.
And hold on a second.
Like, who was the guy that took the picture?
Yeah, exactly. Who was the guy that took the picture? That's one of the big questions out there. So, Sarah, now it's time for our favorite part of the show. Woo, shit or shift, baby. So we're going to give you some questions, and you're going to tell us whether it's a shit, you're not having it, doesn't jive, or it's a shift. And yes, that is good and wonderful and expansive. Okay. First question, Sarah. Expanded states of consciousness do not change our reality. Expanded states of consciousness change how we experience it. Shit or shift?
I think that's shift. It's experiential. As you expand, you experience. And again, it goes back to what I was saying, like, you know it to be true because it feels right for you.
Yeah. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right? All right, Sarah, believing that reality is limited to only what you see, what you hear, and what you touch. Shit or shift?
Shit. What's real? What's going on? Where am I? Right? Yeah. I think what some sages are saying is that reality is not what we see in the physical. It's actually real beyond the physical. That this conscious sort of this consciousness is real, and then everything else is an illusion.
Yeah. Exactly. That we create ourselves based on our emotional reaction to what's around us and our lived experience.
And our beliefs.
And our belief system. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Sarah, consciousness does not emerge from the brain. The brain filters consciousness. Shit or shift?
That's real. That's shift. The brain is an antenna. So Mark Gober is an old co-worker of mine, and he wrote the foreword of my book. He's the author of Where's My Mind? Oh shoot, I can't remember the. Sorry, Mark, I can't remember the book. It's about consciousness. Where's My Mind?
Where's My Mind is a good title for a book, though. Where's My Mind?
Podcast. Shoot, I can't think off the top of my head. But he showed all of this research, and the CIA itself, who had been doing all these, who has been doing all these experiments all this time about consciousness, and how science has been trying to tell us that there's such a thing as physicality, and the brain is the emanator of consciousness. But what they're finding through all these studies all this time is that it's just an antenna to the realms, the higher frequencies, the conscious. So we're just tapping in and filtering, as you asked. Yeah.
Yes. All right, Sarah, shit or shift, following the path everyone expects from you while ignoring what your soul keeps whispering. Shit or shift?
Shit. You got to do what your soul tells you to do. You can't be told what to do by others. It goes back to what I was saying before. Like, the authority is within you and your connection to Creator, and everything else is secondary. So you can't give your power away to the external world that tells you how you need to be or how you need to show up in life. They don't know you. You know yourself best.
Yes.
Okay, Sarah, the biggest mystery is not whether consciousness survives death. It's whether most people are fully conscious while they're alive. Shit or shift?
I think that's a shift. I think that's shift because consciousness is always. It's always. It's now. It's as you pass and transcend into a new sort of energetic. What you're showing up is a different energy. Energy is never dead. It's never
not. It cannot be created or destroyed. It only transforms.
That's right. That's right.
That's a question for me. Realizing some of the biggest life challenges became the doorway to your greatest growth. Is that a shift?
That is a shift, because we're all here for the hero's journey of our life, right? And we need the paradox that in this three-dimensional world, we need the bad with the good, because it gives us more appreciation toward the good. And so when we're on our deathbed, we're going to say, thank God I experienced these things, like climbing a mountain, swimming with a shark, traveling the world, whatever it is, you're writing a book, whatever it is you're proud of, instead of saying, I worked another 100-hour work week and got a bonus and put a good, brag thing on LinkedIn. Like, look at my deal. So that ultimately matters.
Nobody on their deathbed says, "Oh, I wish I would have worked more weekends. I wish I would have put in longer hours." No, they're like, "Why the heck didn't I just call in sick and go on that whatever adventure it was?" Right?
Right.
One
Right.
time, my family still teases me about this. I didn't want to go to work. We had an aunt who had passed away like years before. So I called in that my aunt died. And she was dead. She did die. It wasn't a lie. She just didn't die that day.
Well,
So
that's the truth in a way.
yeah,
In a
so I
way.
always get teased about that. Auntie Dorita die lately? No,
That's hilarious. Well, Sarah, after
Yeah.
traveling the world and working with the wisdom keepers and exploring these amazing ancient sites and spending 20 years searching for deeper truth, what's one thing that that you wish you could share with every human being right now?
That you gotta, it's gonna work out. Everything's still gonna work out. And you're
Yeah.
going to look back and you're like, thank goodness it worked out the way it did. And that you are in the driver's seat and you are the most amazing human being for you. Like, you just got to be grateful for your higher power, helping show the way. I think about the higher power as they're on top of the mountain with binoculars and a walkie-talkie, and you're down in the chasm going, what do I do now? Take a left.
Which way do I go?
Exactly. Turn left.
Like, watch out for that river. There's a bear, and then you didn't listen, and oops, there you go. So honoring that higher guidance and realizing that you're an awesome human being, and you just got to keep trusting.
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. So where can people connect with you and learn more about your work and buy your book? Where can they buy your book, Sarah?
So the book is, thank you for that, Stone Temple Passport, Awake and Radiate with Mama Ayahuasca. So it's out soon at the end of the summer. Hopefully, most likely we're done with the layout. It's just a matter of pulling the trigger and getting it printed. So yeah, you can find me on Embolden Adventures, EMBOLDEN Adventures.com, SaraRoccisano.com, SaraRoccisano.com. And yeah, you just keep your eyes out on the book. It's an amazing book. I'm so proud of it. Here we go.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for
Yes.
this amazing interview today. We've enjoyed it.
Me too.
We always enjoy your energy, Sarah. You're amazing.
Yes.
You're amazing too. Thank you, ladies. Bethany and Sharon. Appreciate the time. Be well.
Well, Sharon,
Wow.
amazing. What a beautiful soul. What a beautiful soul. So, you know what? If today's conversation expanded your perspective even just a little bit, share this episode with someone who has been asking bigger questions about life.
And tell us in the comments, have you ever experienced a moment that completely changed how you see reality? We'd love to hear that. We would love to hear all about that.
I know that's right, girl.
Yeah, let's give us your holy shiftball moment. That's what we want to know.
No doubt. No doubt. And Sharon, who do we have on the show for next week?
Next week, we have Deanna Devine. She is an amazing, amazing human. I met her in person in April, and I'm so and you've met her in person. You went on a cruise with her. Yeah. You're very lucky. She is a consciousness expert, and but a lot of fun, and very knowledgeable. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good, fun show.
It is. I'm looking so forward to it. Well, Sharon, once again, amazing. Had a great show. Love you, girl.
Love you too.
And remember, Sharon, when life kicks you in the balls, be sure to tune in to your Holy Shiftball podcast,
where we help you turn that shit into a shift.
See you next Thursday.
See you next week. Bye-bye.